It's hard to admit that I need help, but I do.
When it comes to Tiger Woods, there's no doubt that he's one of the most successful golfers of all time. But what many people don't know is that his image was seriously tarnished back in 2009 when he was caught up in a scandal. Now you might be wondering what exactly happened. Well, keep watching and you'll find out. But trust us, it's definitely something that you won't want to miss. As a young prodigy who debuted on national television at the age of 2, Woods won the most prestigious junior tournaments, dominated the college game, and turned pro in 1996 at the age of barely 20. The first 13 years of his professional life were highlighted by unprecedented success. Woods set a record for the most amount of time spent ranked as the best golfer in the world, winning 70 PGA tournaments and 14 major championships throughout the course of his career up to that point. He negotiated endorsement deals with some of the most well-known brands in the world, including one with Nike that, at the time, was the most lucrative contract in the history of professional sports. It appeared that Woods' private life was equally as desirable, with a beautiful and doting wife and 2 young children residing in a big Florida estate together with Woods. Because of this, the world was taken aback by the events that took place on November 27, 2009, as well as the subsequent discoveries, because they had formed an image of the athlete that was more akin to that of an unflappable deity than a professional athlete. Woods crashed his SUV. There had been reports in the National Enquirer days earlier that Woods had allegedly engaged in an affair with a New York nightclub manager. These reports began to circulate more when Woods was seen leaving his Orlando area home late at night on November 27th. He got into a car accident, crashing his 2009 Escalade into hedges, a tree, and a fire hydrant. The front of the SUV was severely damaged. Elin Nordegren, the golfer's wife, was awakened by the loud crash, which caused her to immediately start racing out of the house. She used a golf club to smash the rear window of the SUV, dragging her husband out into the street, and then remained with him while he drifted in and out of consciousness, his lips bleeding while he was covered in blankets donated by the neighbors. In response to a request made by Nordegren, one of those neighbors, Jarius Adams, dialed 911. In roughly 10 minutes, officers from the Florida Highway Patrol arrived at the residence. He was speaking incoherently and not making any sense, according to the Windermere Police Chief Daniel Saylor. The police report stated that Woods had been seriously injured in the crash and was unconscious for about 6 minutes afterwards. Nordegren told police that Woods had taken prescription Vicodin painkillers earlier that night, but there was no alcohol involved in the crash. Woods was issued a citation for careless driving and fined $164. This would be the least of his problems. The press soon descended on the scene, looking for more information. On November 29th, Woods addressed the issue for the first time with a personal statement on his website. "I would like to keep this a private matter. I understand that people are curious, but the rumors circulating about my family and me are false and malicious. I am the only person responsible for the accident. My wife, Elin, was the first person to help me when she saw that I was hurt. Any other assertion is false." Affair allegations made headlines across the globe. The statement ended up having the opposite effect than what was intended, largely because on the same day that the statement was released, Us Weekly published a report suggesting that Woods had an affair with another woman. This report brought the total number of allegations of affairs to 2. Rachel Uchitel, the nightclub manager identified by the National Enquirer, and Jamie Grubbs, the subject of the Us Weekly story. Uchitel denied the report by the Enquirer at first, but the story published by Us Weekly included a voicemail message allegedly left by Woods. In the message, Grubb said that they had been having an affair for 31 months and that Woods was trying to remove any evidence of it. The person who left the voicemail says that their wife went through their phone and may have seen the caller's name. They asked the caller to remove their name from the phone to avoid any potential problems. After Grubbs revealed the alleged text message she exchanged with Woods, more than half a dozen women came forward with stories of their own sexual encounters with the famous golfer. The details of these trysts were widely publicized, painting a picture of a man who sought out such experiences while away from home. In a few days, when the news media found out and started asking questions, Woods released another statement that mentioned the allegations without going into any detail. "I realize that I've disappointed my family and I am truly sorry for my actions. I know that I've not lived up to my own values or the standards that my family deserves, and I'm working on addressing these issues privately with them. I am fully aware that I'm not perfect and have many faults, but this is something that I'm working on with my family. These feelings and struggles are something that we should share and work through together." Woods became unresponsive to the media after that, even as they continued to report on the story. It seemed that the golden boy of golf, who was incredibly talented and came from a wealthy family with a beautiful wife and perfect family, was actually hiding a lot of dark secrets, infidelities, and lies. This caused many people to view him in a different light. Woods finally made another statement after 2 weeks, again on his website. He admitted that he was aware of how much his infidelity had disappointed and hurt so many people, especially his wife and children. In February, Tiger Woods finally addressed the press about his DUI arrest from the previous month. He read a prepared statement apologizing for his actions and then took questions from reporters for 13 minutes. This was the first time he had spoken publicly since the incident. "I was unfaithful. I had affairs and I cheated. What I did hurt the people who loved and trusted me the most. My actions were inexcusable, and I am truly sorry for the pain and heartache that I caused. I hope that someday they can forgive me." Wood said that he had been in therapy and has done a lot of reflection in the months since the crash and revelations. He said that this time has helped him to grow and learn more about himself. "I was aware that my actions were wrong, but I convinced myself that the usual rules didn't apply to me. I never considered who I was harming through my actions, instead only thinking about what would benefit me. I disregarded the boundaries a married couple should live by. I felt like I could do whatever I wanted, and that I deserved to enjoy all the pleasures life had to offer. I believed that because I had worked hard my whole life, I was entitled to this type of lifestyle, thanks to my money and fame. Finding these things was easy." Divorced, losing sponsorships. He took a break from golf to try and improve his marriage, which subsequently led to him losing many sponsors. However, some of these sponsors eventually came back. His marriage with Nordegren ultimately failed, and they divorced in August 2010. Uchitel first denied reports of her affair, but later used it as a way to become famous. She revealed that she met Woods through Yankees player Derek Jeter and used the situation to her advantage, appearing on Celebrity Rehab and various TV documentaries. Woods returned to golf just a few months after his scandalous break from the sport, participating in the Masters tournament in 2010. However, he was not as successful as he was before the hiatus, due in part to injuries and surgeries. Woods finally won another major championship in 2019 at the Masters, after which President Donald Trump awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Tiger's dad, Earl, a womanizer in disguise. Earl's property, Tiger's childhood home, reportedly became an effing rodeo where women young enough to be his daughter were paraded around. According to urban legend, Earl hired a young woman wearing a miniskirt because she sat on his lap while he watched a movie. After Woods, then age 30, won the Open in 2006, his caddy Steve Williams famously pointed to the sky, as though paying honor to Woods' late father, Earl, then age 74. But before he passed away, the ex-Special Forces soldier's Cypress, California home allegedly turned into a house of horrors, where he had sexual favors done whenever he pleased. According to the book Tiger Woods by Jeff Benedict and Armin Ketian, by 2000, Earl had largely ceased coming up at tour events, and the situation at Tiger's childhood home had gone out of hand. It was a revolving door of women. The television was constantly showing pornographic content. Earl requested that drawers be emptied of sex items and that sexual favors be performed. The place was a house of horrors, as one former worker put it. Every single drawer and cabinet. How much Tiger knew about his father's behavior is unknown, but many who saw it were astonished. The book continues. At one point, a young lady who turned in for a job interview wearing a cropped halter top and a super short mini skirt immediately sat on Earl's lap and hugged him. She was employed as his executive travel assistant right away. In addition to watching porn, Earl also liked to drink and smoke, which drove a wedge between him and his family. However, the number one rule in the household was always to remain silent about what was happening, since keeping secrets in the family was part of being a Woods. Sadly, the apple didn't fall far from the tree, and Tiger has inherited some of the not-so-gentlemanly traits from his father. Do you think that Tiger has learned his lesson and strives to become a better person? Comment down below. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and make sure to watch this video too. Most golf fans don't know this about Tiger Woods.